So this will be a boring video in a world of sensationalized content meant to get viewers. I'm just going to show you the flat out facts that prove why the death penalty is stupid. This is going to be a really quick, fiscally conservative centered video where I talk about the costs of the death penalty versus a lifetime sentence in prison. A Susquehanna University report found that on average across all 50 states, a death row inmate costs $1.12 million more than a general population inmate. In July 2018, there were 2,738 inmates on death row. That's almost $3 billion additional expense than if they had all been sentenced to life in prison instead. So I'm going to start off with one of the lowest expenses, the injection itself. So the European companies that used to supply these chemicals to make these drugs that internally destroy human beings, the lethal injection, went out of business. So a drug, the injection that used to cost $80 a pop, guess what? The supply and demand, supply was restricted, so the price goes up. So looking at what we're paying right now, by 2013, as a result, Texas was paying $1,500. In Missouri, they were paying $8,000. And in 2017, Virginia agreed to pay $1,600 per dose. Really smart money management right there, bud. We have decades and decades of hearings. It's a very complex process. Americans have rights. There's a due process for everything. We go through different courts, and after things are settled, there's chances to appeal. There's automatic appeals to make sure we get these answers right. And we should have a long, drawn-out system for this, especially when we have a society attempting to play God and take another human being's life. And there's also a misconception that the death penalty makes communities safer. They think, well, if criminals know that they will die if they commit these crimes, they won't do it. Wrong. Communities that implement the death penalty actually get less safe. Because if your funding a program is bloated and overpriced as the execution system we have, you're not funding things that actually work. You're not funding processes that help communities. In communities where they institute policies, where instead of funding the death penalty, for highest offenders, they'll send them to a life in prison without parole. Those communities got safer. More funding was put into rehabilitation programs for lower offenders. More money was put into different detection services. More money was put into things that work. Why are we being stupid? So it's a really bloated system. A lot of money's put into it that really shouldn't be. The processes are very complex. So we'll only put people into the system that are going to get executed, right? Wrong. So from 1973 to 2000, I think like 13, a 30-year span, we tried 8,000 people to get executed. Guess how many actually got executed? Around 1,000. So that's around a 15% number. So we're putting all this funding into this program, this bloodlust program where we try to strip a human being of their life for a crime we think they committed. Only 15% of the people are actually executed. So 85% of those resources are out the door for absolutely no reason. So we're not only wasting money, we're also burning money? Huh. By the way, is anyone really surprised that our rise in executions began with Ronald Reagan and peaked with Bill Clinton? A reminder for your tax dollars. It costs 10 times more to kill them than it costs to keep them alive. So it makes sense, fiscally, it makes sense for taxpayer dollars to not execute. The proceedings are costly, and they should be expensive. When you're deciding if you're going to take a human being's life, that's that's the ultimate decision. That's the ultimate power of a human being, is to take another human being's life. So I'm not going to say dumb down the process. What are we going to do? That's the ultimate due process. We have to keep the system stable if you were going to use something stupid like the death penalty. It makes no sense to use. It makes no sense for money. I don't care about your moral arguments. The death penalty does not show a superiority in any way. And having a death penalty, having people be executed, means there's no chance for people who are proven innocent to be saved. And if we're just going to base our life off of revenge, if we think true revenge is taking another person's life, and it makes dumb sense, it doesn't make sense with money, what are we doing? That's not American at all. Thank you for watching this really all over the place random rant. Please subscribe.